Welcome to the Black Men Speak. We were host in the store, and I'm Tom Ago. And today we're going to finish our discussion on the Black relationship. And this time we're going to get more from this perspective. There are some issues that Black men may say they have in the family. And see if we can find solutions that can fit. Okay, Tom, let's just jump in. Let's maybe be ready to put your feet, really to ease into the school. So, is the black woman too strong? We do that from black people who say that black people can't be able to strong black women. And then you do it to guys who are that some of the women are born to big village, responding to not this, but that. And what this really comes down to is that there's something that we real. They want to be a good relationship. They want to be a good relationship. But society being the way it is, we definitely back there, the way that the state is, really control power. As far as the selling black people to give up control of their family, it's pretty clear that it comes first. With a poor chapter, all of these people, just every reallocating territory, as someone could be responsible.
No, you're right. It's a big issue that we have. I think that, in my opinion, my experience, the biggest difference I see of those women who have been raised in a life where they had a strong father figure in their household and run the way they were like those who did not. And bilaterally, most women who have a challenge with male authority, not in terms of dominance and keeping them out the woman, but following the lead of the black man who don't typically grow up in that.
So, what is to be done in this particular situation when the woman is kind of the serious of a great black man, and they are taking more time and get ready and then you have to wrestle and show over control of your being.
Hopefully, they're going to have, for those women who are type A women, they're going to have a ultra type of woman. Because if they're not accustomed to having if they're already very strong-willed, strong-minded, and they're accustomed to being around weak men and women, they're going to have an ultra type of male in order to balance out that. But ultimately, the challenge is going to be, it's a challenge of having two type A's in the same professional environment. Typically, there's going to be some fallout because there's going to be a competition for control. That's the problem. So what happens is you have a lot of type A women who are looking for a soft male because they don't necessarily need to compete.
In one situation, I don't know, and you have to move in a situation, and not one of us have to run sometimes, but there always be that unhappy with the lack of leadership. Initially, they're on paper. Like I said, we're doing some everything, we're going to control, they're going to control. But as time goes on, the longer they're together, the more annoying it becomes that you lack the leadership that they deep down favor the guy. And now his softness becomes a weakness, becomes a detriment for the relationship.
I would agree. And again, that's what they're looking for. But ultimately, they have to find the personal discipline or they have to reprogram themselves to learn to follow someone as a leader and to trust that person. It's probably the biggest battle.
Now, what about the men that they in this situation? I remember guys who got married and they were just not there, just 70, not college. Clean up his fight, they didn't use his law, take registration, they pacify themselves, which I don't think is the right way to do it. You know, just get off the battle. And like I said, it is a negotiation, you got to work on plans and grown with. But it doesn't help the family structure, especially if that children in environment, how to reach politics. And someone comes home and gets the legally disengaged from you and the family, they don't even tell me that, how you gonna talk to me. Well, you talk to me, this side is fair. It's like, why talk with you when you beat you down and complain and all this wrong? And but in that situation, you have to be free to communicate because if you teach your kids how to deal with emotions in these situations. basically just going on and jump on the post station and, so dinner time, they're going to get in the dinner. And then there's no one for a president. It's not going.
Yeah, well, I think that's why a wise person once said, that's why God gave us 2 years in one now, because we need to listen more than we do that. And so those women who are in that situation, I mean, asking questions is one thing, but being the management or accountability is probably not going to get you that far with someone who has a tendency to maybe not be quite as talkative, who may have a lot to say, but, men and women, when they come home, they have two completely involved. Typically, not always, as long as you come home and talk for like the next 30, 45 minutes, get everything out they can. A guy usually wants to kind of go into male king or whatever, and just kind of relax, think, and especially gradually, because, in a lot of cases, we're not in that. We're not in an environment that is nurturing for us, so typically, if we're having a stressful day, we need some relaxation and some peaceful compliments, and then we can talk. But again, that's why we have 2 years and 1 mouth. There's a very good friend of mine, a woman. She's very about it. She said, what, a woman, you know, if she should learn how to listen.
I agree with that. And I certainly agree with that. That brings us to our next topic. That you hear this from some, and certainly in my observation also, that when it comes to how do you give you these are things that used to be passed down from mother to daughter, according to the instructions to the class teacher on how to build their relationship with. I'm not sure most teachers are that result is this, that there are many women who have no clue how to build their relationship with other than to complain, talk, and then other things.
So what's the question?
The question is, what is your view or opinion on what you think? Do you believe that women are equipped and have the skill necessary to deal with that in a peaceful way without complaining, without talking, without dragging their significant others to deal with it?
That's a good question. I mean, it goes down to if they're first ready to listen, and more importantly, there's a preaching, I think, big mega church. Study your day. A lot of people say, learn and understand, what makes them tick, what motivates them, and what brings them at a place of peace. And I think if you take the time to listen and study, take the time, you can figure out what exactly they want and need, and then I think you can get what they want. Because ultimately, if a man is happy, he's really determined to keep. Yeah, and the great part.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You find a way to make them happy. So there, I'm going to take that much, and there is somewhat simplification. Leaders are all about it too much. Then help us understand what makes you happy. And when something that is good, when he does good, it's because I hate to use this example, but that is our training dog. When the dog does pretty well, and the reward dog, he needs force, but behavior, it's positive and important. I think the same thing is good. When you finally do something, take the trash out that you want. Rather than, come on, you find some trash out. Don't make it a negative experience. Give it a kind of that. When you're around company, say good things about it. Like, hey, I'm a really good husband because, you take the trash out and allow me to have to.
Probably Poppy. He came straight from the gym today. He's coming from the ass. Okay, you know what? It must be a rat. I'll call the exterminator tomorrow.
Big rat. Baby, it smells like a whole pack of rats out in this house.
Alexa wanted me to hold on to a couple of other things, so.
Whoa, definitely coming from me.
Oh, well, it must be some old musty ballroom looks. No. Alexa wouldn't want you to go through her stuff like that.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like I've known you my entire life, and other times I feel like we just met.
Excuse me?
You're always keeping me at arm's length. Look, I know we come from different worlds, but I can't be with someone who won't let me in.
Well, there are certain things we're forced to do to survive. You wouldn't understand.
Give me a chance.
Well, you're gonna judge me.
When you told me you were apologetic, did I run? Was I any less interested? Baby, talk to me. What's up? What's that smell?
It's probably Poppy chemistry. Did you know?
The largest black hole ever discovered is so massive that it breaks our understanding of of reality. It's called Ton 618, and it's one of the most gigantic objects in the entire known universe. This cosmic monster has a mass equal to 66 billion suns. Yes, billion. If TON 618 were placed at the centre of our solar system, its event horizon would stretch far beyond Pluto, swallowing every planet whole. Light itself can't escape it. Time slows down near it, and anything that crosses its edge is lost forever. What makes it even more terrifying is that Ton 618 isn't some quiet, invisible hole in space. It's powering a blazing quasar, releasing more energy than entire galaxies combined. And here's the scary part. We don't even know how something this massive could have formed so early in the universe. It shouldn't exist, but it does. Do you know?
Also, if your body isn't efficiently using ketones, your blood ketone reading may be lower. That does not automatically mean you're kicked out of ketosis if you're still low carb, still not spiking glucose, still feeling steady energy. You may be doing great even if your ketone number isn't dramatic. Protein and your
Finally figured out my wife. She has ovaries. So it only makes sense that she's going to overreact. Finally figured out.
If you've got an Android, give this a try. Now, what this does for you is it blocks ads, it makes your phone look way cleaner, and adds AI to your phone. All right, so to get started, head over to the Play Store and type in Opera. After you've downloaded
very good point. I think really wraps around a lot. What we talked about earlier, that your grandma, she made your grandfather feel empowered. Yeah, and I think that is one element that we are struggling with in our community that probably is not as much of a problem in other communities is that
why the nobody talking about
Very rapid fire. What food would you ban from the American diet?
allow them to run over them.
So this girl over here,
But it's a puppet of stroke that you will make them feel empowered.
So the 4 pills, red pill, blue pill, white pill, black pill. The red pill is where men talk about the truth of their experience.
And that's where ultimately your grandmother said, well, I really know what I want to do, but I really empower her to that. They're not going to get what I want. At the same time, so it's everyone has. But that is the key. Learning how to make the man feel empowered. And I think that's one area that we struggle with within our community.
You have me when he's picking so much. When you have hypothermia,
and so they don't feel empowered and connected to it, it's easier.
Russia's Su-34 seemed to be custom-made to dominate the skies over Ukraine. The multi-role fighter was more advanced than anything Ukraine had in its aerial arsenal when Russia invaded Ukraine, and it, combined with Russia's other fighter jets and bombers, should have been enough to put the air superiority debate to bed within weeks of the war starting. That's not what happened. The Su-34, while not a non-factor, isn't the dominating fighter jet it was supposed to be in Ukraine. And the reason why is Ukraine exploits a fatal weakness in the Su-34. The code has been cracked, and there's nothing that Vladimir Putin can do to stop the losses. That's according to US Army and US Air Force veteran Wes O'Donnell, who opened the January 4th video with the obvious question, Why does Russia keep losing its Su-34s? We'll answer that question later in the video. What is clear from the outset is that what the Su-34 was supposed to be for Russia, Russia's use of Su-34s for reconnaissance means that it built predictability into an airframe that thrives on speed, maneuverability, and this intended use of launching attacks. These seem to come out of nowhere before it flies away. All of that goes away when conducting reconnaissance, because the aircraft has to follow specific routes to keep an eye on what the enemy is doing. Once the enemy knows that the fighter jet is in the skies, and following the same routes every day, a very big target appears. Repeated use of the same roles pushes Su-34s into predictable flight corridors and operating altitudes that Ukrainian forces have had years to study. Sure enough, patterns start to emerge that, once identified, make it easy for Ukraine to take down an Su-34. All it has to do is get an air defense system in the right position and wait for the next flyover. Then, boom, an Su-34 goes down. We saw this very strategy in action in September 2025. After yet another of Ukraine's Su-34 takedowns, the New Voice of Ukraine spoke to military expert Mikhailo Zyrikov, who explained that Ukraine likely identified the Su-34 pilot flying predictable routes, and may have even purposefully given that pilot the impression that it was safe to do so. And you know, when there's no resistance, people on the front, the pilots in this case, lose some vigilance, they lose caution. That's why an ambush by the Ukrainian military was only a matter of time, Zyrikov explained. It seems that Ukraine has become a master of allowing Russia to believe it has found a safe zone, until the time comes for the safe zone to become a kill site.
So yes, basically, informing positive, informing being connected, engagement, important. All the things.
Okay, babe, I have a real serious question for you. So would you rather date my personality in your ex's body, my body with your ex's personality? You're big time. Which one is it?
Now they don't have fun. They don't have family. It's amazing to me how such a long body of women will come out and speak out against marriage is slavery, but then you never have you got children. Why enjoy marriage slavery? Until I was around, I would take the message and take it seriously. Some of these days, you put the message out there for your financial thing. The political reasons, it's certainly not a problem to know about it, because, like I said, everybody's headed around the baby, and that's who made all the money.
I didn't realize that you would be this fat in your second trimester. I mean, you barely are like a week or two in your second trimester, and you're already like so fat. I don't mean like pretty hot and tempting fat. I mean FAT, like forgettable and tired. Babe.
Impact of the message from the voter for us has been disastrous. For them, they says a lot of them live with it. But like I said, I don't think they buy into the message of what they're doing about it. It's just like I said. But you know, I have time to find out there telling me
Minnesota's long-running fraud problems are back in the headlines. Right now, a House Judiciary Subcommittee is holding a hearing, and it's called When Public Funds Are Reviewed, Addressing Fraud and the Theft of Taxpayer Dollars. And independent journalist Nick Shirley is one of the key witnesses there. Nick Shirley's videos on YouTube have millions of views and ignited a national conversation around the alleged schemes. But the hearing is not the only problem facing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. He's staring down some big ones. He faces a congressional investigation into that social services fraud. The House Energy and Commerce Committee will lead that probe. In a statement, the committee said, quote, the extensive fraud schemes being perpetrated in Minnesota have wreaked havoc on government-funded health programs. We have an obligation to ensure finite taxpayer
this is how soon that you take the number.
You know, it's my dad's daily devotional text he sends. Gets my day going perfectly every day. I love that, man. I can't stay long because I have to leave at 6. Family dinner. They're the highlight of my life. Yeah, I enjoy them.
You're doing politics. We're all pretty much politically aligned, and if we're not, we just respect.
What happens when a federal immigration crackdown in Minneapolis, Minnesota ignites protests so intense that President Donald J. Trump mobilizes as many as 1,500 active duty troops and places the Minnesota National Guard on standby? Meanwhile, ICE operations, two controversial shootings, and escalation clashes push an entire state toward a breaking point. Well, in the span of just a few weeks, what began with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement actions and the fatal shooting of a local resident has.
I think if you could balance her insecurity with security rather than, be responsible, stick to it. I think for the women, understanding that men are sometimes make mistakes. When they do make a mistake, not make a mistake in trying to what's right in that family, and then I work out. Things like going back in my favor, you see me following you try to walk with the house.
Jason.
What?
No, I said your teacher's pretty accurate about you.
Whatever. I need you to pick me up at school. I'm working longer.
His job should be to listen to all the
Big updates for you. Today's video started with Nick Shirley testifying on Capitol Hill. He dropped a bombshell statement. Also, Ilhan Omar, under investigation, hit with a criminal probe, and an appeals court just ruled in favor of ICE, a huge blow to Democrats. But first, like this video, share this video, leave a comment down below, and please do not forget to subscribe.
If I made it, without you, then obviously you would give them a character to let me know how you were really feeling. But I thought you really good for it. I didn't know how to do it for it, and you couldn't do it.
Welcome to today's video about just eat these every day and you will live to 100. Your cells are aging faster than they should. Right now, this very moment, scientists can measure it. They can see it under a microscope. The protective caps on your DNA are shrinking with every breath you take, every meal you eat, every stressful moment you experience. 3 Nobel Prize winners spent decades uncovering why this happens and how to slow it down. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn found the biological clock ticking inside every cell. Dr. Yoshari Osumi revealed how your body eats its own damaged parts, such as lentils and chickpeas supply fiber and B vitamins. Studies show that folate is required for DNA synthesis.
Delicious. That is just some freshly shredded mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to do a nice layer of that. Got some red and yellow peppers. I'm going to place those right on top of that shredded mozzarella. I'm going to go all the way around with this. Got some red onion that I chopped. Sprinkle that around to get all of that out, and some black olives. My husband's favorite. But definitely, when you're making your upside down pizza, you should use what ingredients you like. I cooked up some Italian sausage. I'm just going to pour that in and spread that out. I got just some mild Italian sausage, so I am going to add a little bit of some fresh red pepper flakes just to give it a little heat. That is definitely optional. We like people that eat in ours. Got some shredded Parmesan. Sprinkle some of that on. We are almost done with this upside down pizza. I also have some provolone slices. Place those all the way around. I have my homemade pizza sauce. I'm just going to pour that right on top. And then we'll brush it so it covers everything. So I'll start with that amount. I can add a little bit more if I need it. Just gonna take my brush and just spread it out. If you want more sauce than what I put on, you definitely can. I kind of like a thin layer. Lastly, I have my pizza dough that I just rolled out at 1 pound. And I take that and just tuck it in. Just tuck it all the way around all of those ingredients so it holds them in. And lastly, I have some garlic infused olive oil. I'm going to drizzle that right on top. You can use regular olive oil also if you want to. I just like the flavor that this gives to this crust. I have my oven set at 40 degrees. This is only gonna take about 25 minutes. Then we're gonna flip it.
Our upside down Italian sausage pizza is done. And the crust is nice and crispy. We are gonna flip this over. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes. Look at that, it looks so good. Get into this. Hear that crust? Time to fill that filling.
Anybody home? Hey, what are you doing here? Hey, just thought I'd stop by.
Okay, well, I guess you didn't discuss it before you started to do it, or it's probably a mistake. But on top of that, the fact that she vetoed your friend, to buy a TV. Pretty sure it's expensive TV, it's about $2,000 TV. Not TV. So you probably should discuss it with her, to make sure that you get her buy-in as well. But the fact that, that she was vetoed the city, and I mean, he was really rejected about.
The United States is.
You think the speed of light is. Probably a little bit of embarrassment that he was not the type of man who would be family and go out and get the city and buy something. So, but you probably should not do it. Irresponsible. I'm not saying that you should go out by television.
Cops are tasked with upholding the law, but what happens when they're caught in their own
That's cool. The thing to do is,
Zero to none.
I don't know if you ever call somebody up and say, I can't pay my mortgage because I'm on the television, but the man should be, like in my situation,
One best meal to unclog your
and I want to be able to watch the game if I'm afforded to.
with the remarkable ability to not merely slow down, but to actively.
I would sort of explain to my wife, look, I'm gonna do this, I need to do this, here's why. I'm not being selfish, the financial reward, if I'm not bad about that. I would think like enjoy the game and a really nice television, and I like to give you your feedback, what you think. So that makes you okay.
Picture this. An island of just 56,000 people. That's smaller than most every Trump. In a statement carried on Italian media, Meloni admitted that the Arctic and Greenland are indeed genuinely strategic to the United States, that hostile actors must be kept out, and this should be handled through NATO coordination and dialogue, not symbolic deployments and escalation. She said she's spoken directly with President Trump and with the NATO Secretary General, pushing to cool things down and work together instead.
I would agree, the balance things out, it kind of works out that way. Because you know that she's gonna take the water like this and say, I really go to shop and see.
I thought the black homes were being offered here.
That's what I'm talking about. We need the money for X, Y, and Z. But you don't should say, well, we need the money, we want that television, but we need it. So if you don't spend that kind of money on the television, be prepared to at least spend that kind of money for something like the TV, down the road, that's it. Yeah. So, Tom, we have about 5 minutes left, man, before we have to start, I got to show really about, getting started. In the last 7 minutes, man, what are usual advice that you offer to tackle the situation that you have? You talk about the good background of the living. Let's talk about that for a minute. What is a good background? What is a good background?
That's a good question. It's in the eyes of the
I think you recognize when if you have one or don't have one, and you're curious to know if you have a good background, you think it's a good guy, but that time the Jimmy guy said,
I think ultimately it's first and foremost someone who takes personal responsibility for the situation.
So it's personal life is something that we should very, very need, mind the life,
Absolutely.
make sure he's doing responsibly.
Absolutely, because if there's someone who depends on his mama all the time, every day, ultimately that's gonna change.
Yeah. Or even the Jesus in the turn of mind, you know, it can change you. That is such a mind for. Otherwise, now on the leadership front, how would I want to go if the leader now?
I think it's in small things that been working and, even though, of course, you're gonna have Mr. Big things, it's the small things that say it's gonna matter. So a lot of the small day-to-day things, our personal discipline, daily habits, that's gonna be different things, different women in terms of what their background is. If they had a father, what she saw in him, because she's gonna be looking for that in another man, which probably shouldn't be the same, because you shouldn't want a man by your dad. Looking at the small day-to-day decisions that you very important. That can be things in terms of maybe how the schools is going. That can be his prayer life. That could be how he treats other people. Or if you go out to a restaurant, how does he treat the server? Something like that. How he communicates with other people. I think also seeing that person, whether this is a woman to a man or a man to a woman, observing their behavior in different surroundings. In their professional life, whether with the folks they work with their family, with their friends, just observing those things.
I would say it's really restaurant piece. That is something that you could quickly start with leadership challenges. One, if you're going out to eat, then you have a decide on a restaurant. And you try to really say, you pick a restaurant. You pick a restaurant, or you say, no, whatever you want. He comes back and says, no, you pick something. And that right there is a sign that you are constantly making a decision, even somebody's time. When it is, I used to have a sister there, my ex-wife's sister, and very, very nice. One of the things that she said that bothered me was that she would never give him to make a decision about where they were eat sometimes. So they go back and forth. Back and forth. They would, no, you pick something. No, wherever you want to go, I don't care. You pick a place. No, I don't care. You pick something. And the fact that you would make a decision. Early on in the relationship, she thought she was going to be right because whatever she wanted to do, they did it. He would be always have to what she would want. For the time, she would irritate her that she wouldn't have given make a simple decision on anything because she would have always said. So, I would say you're dating, if we can't make a decision about a restaurant, there's a good chance you're going to make good decisions about other things. So you may have to keep that in mind. You may have to consider how you have to go stuff. But there's a power in the food. There's really engaging. There's really staff that take care of it, or there's really how you to talk to the staff when you're ready to fix something. So that's a telltale sign also. That's all the other things that you go to.
One other thing that I think the women is going to be extremely important. Observe the relationship that he has with his mother. Whether that's close, whether that's distant, and actually those two can have different nuances because if you have a man who's very close with his mother, that's a good thing, but then how's open for something that can be potentially a side effect of that because ultimately if they do decide to work together, get married, and he's still living to his mother, and he's married, there we go, that is a great relationship. That could be very problematic. Also, if he has a relationship with his father, what that's like, and dig into the past on that, because if you did not have a relationship with a father or a father-in-law, sometimes there are men who are able to compensate for that in ways, but if you're not, and you don't have a relationship with that guy, that would be a challenge. Yes, so those are small nuances. None of them being bad, it's just you
I think we should have time to sit down and talk about these things early on in the relationship. So you set some ground rules for what should I do to expect from you as a husband to you and also on the relationship. And these are things you feel that these are your personal. So if you model that person later on, and we come back to you and say, you told me yes before you got married, and this is on the person now. I expect you to live up to what you told you. Not in a complaining way, not questioning about it, not getting out of word, but to let the man know that his behavior now is bad for his work. So it's not like you push this over you. And I think if you give the challenge, then you let them know that I expect, there's something I expect better from you, that if you give a piece of ground, they'll live up to the challenge.
A couple of questions that you may want to consider asking someone, not someone that you just met out, see that much of it. It was someone that you were looking at, is asking them to do some question, what is your plan for your life? Because what do you see as your general goal and values over the next 3 to 5 years? Something that people may sleep on, what do you feel is the role of your woman factor in your life?
And obviously, after that time of play, if you play, ladies, if you get to that point where you're not sure that you're ready to you will ask your significant hey, where is the relationship going? I'm going to tell you right now, if you follow his word, if you know how to then be clear that I'm thought about it, and if you're going to give you a good answer, there's a good chance that your relationship is not going anywhere. That wherever you are next year is probably very good. So if he's thought about you guys going for the future with you, you don't have an answer for it. You really say, this is what I'm thinking about for the future, this is our plan, this is what I'm thinking. If you can continue with that plan, you never thought about it, you're really showing you guys the future and how the future together, then you can waste your time. That's a time for it. So when you get to that point, you're not sure of what relationship.
And then the other thing in terms of the importance factor, because of course, people define sacrifice differently. So let's say if we have someone who doesn't really have a lot, and they're sacrificing maybe the financial resources that they have. They're not going to be able to pay, but if it's someone who's a billionaire, multi-billionaire, then they may not be a thing. But let's say if it's someone who has a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of time, and they sacrifice their time for it. You have to figure out what it is to that person, what the most important sacrifice is. Someone who maybe they get it because he's spending a lot of money for it, but money may not mean very much. Exactly. And it could be time, or it could be something else. And so that's the other important thing. Figure out what sacrifice means to that person and where do you put it.
So I hope you enjoyed some of the advice we try to offer. And we're really doing future shows and doing, maybe, there's a little bit more, your suggestion, advice. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments, we'll try to answer. We're going to respond to any comment. The other thing, I mentioned we will actually go to a show to discussing for the future. So we're going to a quick thank to our sponsors, to 360 for allowing us to use their building for our studio. Also, NRTC Telecom. And to Us Films, who does our editing and marketing. And of course, finally, to our viewers and subscribers, yes. So please subscribe to our show. Please encourage others to watch our show. And then if you like what you hear, or if you don't like, feel free to leave us comments on the self-attended and comments to respond to every comment that you read.
Thank you very much, folks, and we appreciate your time.